Morning. It is October, and as you know, we live in the Pacific Northwest right now, and it is starting to get a little chilly. So, what does that mean for my camping? I was gonna call it quits, but this might change that. I have never used one of these things before. I kind of shied away from using a diesel heater because it feels like it's just too much for a 4Runner, you know, an SUV, car. I typically see them used with people that live in van life, RVs, you know, stuff like that. But this one's pretty small. I don't want to be absolutely roasting in there. I would just like to use it to take the chill off late at night, early in the morning. So I'm excited to get this guy set up. Let's read the instructions and see what we got to do. You know, I bought a tube. I should have checked the box before I ordered any accessories. That is my fault. But the tube I got, sorry, is longer. So this looks like an exhausting. So this is the one where the heat comes out and it goes into your space. This one is where the excess fumes and stuff comes out. This one looks like it goes to a car battery. I don't know what this one goes to. This muffler is going to go on that. This looks like a mounting bracket of some sort. I wonder if you can mount it to the roof rack. We're going to get into how I'm going to use it with the 4Runner a little later. These are some hose clamps. Oh man, I bought one of these too. So this is going to be at the end of this hose and blowing into your space. Bumpers, I bet you these are feet. Yes, this is going to be for AC power. I thought there was a remote. I don't want to crawl out of bed in the morning and turn this on. Okay, I think we have some answers maybe. There's stuff in here. There we go. I think this is the remote. And then there's this control panel. With this, you can extend this control panel. You could take it out and, I don't know, mount it on the inside of your van or something. And now I just need this, and I need to get some diesel fuel. It's the carp arcing heater. You can kind of put some of the things together though. So it did come with these typical 4-inch hose clamps, but I hate them, so I bought this kind of squeeze kind. I feel like this clamp is too big. Like it's not a firm connection. So I'm gonna end up having to use the kind I hate. Yeah, that seems to work fine on this end, just not this end. I need to create a barrier that this fits in that goes in the 4Runner, and that is coming up. This is the exhaust bit. That's where this guy's gonna come in. All right, this part is mildly frustrating because this isn't perfectly round. Ah, okay. All right, well, the rest is gonna have to wait until I get some fuel. All right, it has been a few days and I am back. Oh, I got some diesel fuel. I know it's supposed to go in a yellow can, but they only have big yellow cans. I did get a label so that I don't mix them up. Let's see, let's do a real test. See how much juice it pulls. Okay. And I got a little less than a gallon of diesel. So I think it was $4.29 a gallon. And I got $4 worth. So we're just gonna go on a roughly a gallon test. Now this has got one of those safety things. Did I have to watch a video about how to unlock this nozzle? Yes I did. And I hate it.
I see why your problem.
And it's spring loaded, so I think it'll pop back up. That's a pain in the ass. Throw the whole thing in there. It's about a gallon.
Vacuum all that out, clean that up.
The power button for 25 seconds. Okay, this one. I haven't been counting, but something's happening.
See it working. Hear it.
Let's see, how many watts is it pulling? 130. That's jumping between 128 and 140 while it's gearing up. There's exhaust coming out. Yeah, it is bloated.
Yeah.
Dang, and that's only on 4.
Yeah, that's hot.
Okay. Let's see what we did for power. That was probably down 3%. That wasn't bad for probably, what, 5 minutes? Less than that, 3 minutes.
That's your EcoFlow, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how the big ones would do. We grab the big one. Look at the big baby and the biggie.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold the power button. 2 seconds. Let's see, maybe if we turn this on. Ah, there we go. We gotta turn the red thing on first. And get our display. All right, 2 seconds. 1, 2. Yep. There it goes. Let's turn the temperature down a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Okay. That works. Yeah, this level 1 is plenty for the 4Runner.
Great.
I should know better than to film on Saturdays because it's yard care day. So next question is, how are we going to port it into the 4Runner? Love that 4Runners, the back window rolls down. So we could put it up here. I'll make it and then explain it. There are little gaps in the side. All right, thank you.
I got that weatherproof tape that you probably want to put on this. Cut your hole and then we'll tape it.
Sort of. Not easy, but it's possible. All right, here's our setup for our trip. We'll try it this weekend. So there was some space between the bottom of these and the window, and I was not too worried about it. I was just going to leave the gap, but the forecast for this trip has gotten really bad. So not only is it going to be rainy, but it's going to be windy. So I am a little concerned about rain blowing into the little probably 4-inch gap I have below this leg. So I have this backer rod left over from another project. So I think I'm going to use this as just a little gap filler. I'm out of this, well, you can't see on the other side, the weatherproofing tape, so I'm using more gaffer's tape. Not ideal since it's fabric, but it's what I got. All right, it's getting kind of dark, but I wanted to get loaded in before the rain starts tomorrow morning. And I've got the insert right here. And that's the sort of thing when I replace my roof box that was stolen. That is exactly the sort of thing that I could put in there. And I have the heater right here. I don't know how I feel with it right behind my seat, but it's just the most practical right now. So it is. We've got diesel, we've got butane, you know, all kinds of kaboom. All right. After some struggle, we have a dry area now just outside the 4Runner. Yeah, I'm just gonna get the diesel heater out. All right, so the Hcalory people did say that this is, it's not waterproof, but they're working on it, the certification. So it should be okay with just having some sprinkles and a little bit of splash, but I am gonna keep it under the cover just in case. This is what I've come up with, this lean-to, because the power cord is so short. So, note for next time, bring an extension cord. So hopefully this arrangement works. My main concern is this exhaust is going to be too close to the tarp. But I guess we'll see. Also, I didn't cut those, I didn't cut that backer rod quite long enough. So water was still getting in down there, so the tarp also helps hopefully prevent any more water from getting in. I'm not going to fire up the diesel heater yet because currently I did bring a different temperature measuring device. It's 53 degrees in here. It's totally comfortable, so I figure I'm probably going to crank it up in the morning. I think it's going to be in the 40s. So, I mean, I don't even really need it then, but this is a good time to test it when you don't really need it. So, sir, can you not? So this is the situation I have with the WeatherTech window covers. I just kind of clipped it. For these are cubicle clips. So you have these little pins that go into the soft part. And then I just have a tiny like clothespin there. I did get quite a bit of water in here. And I think that was before I put the tarp on the outside. Hopefully, I think once I put the tarp out there, that stopped. I did not cut that backer rod quite long enough, so it doesn't go all the way down. And here is the electrical cord. So when this in the morning, I can just plug it into the power bank there. Hopefully. Good morning. It's 5:49 and 55 degrees in here. It's not at all cold enough to run a diesel heater, but I feel like I went through all the effort to set it up. I gotta at least try it out. So I did have the forethought to bring the remote in here. And one interesting thing I learned about this remote is that it's got a carbon monoxide detector in it, a thermostat. If you set the heater to regulate at a certain temperature, this is going to be your thermostat. Also, I installed the app. There it is. And I tried it very briefly, and it worked pretty well, shockingly. A lot of these apps are terrible, but this one was seamless. It paired immediately. Hopefully we had the same luck this morning. So first task is to see if I can get this cord to reach the power bank. So I've got it hooked up down there. Here's the cord coming through. You can see the moisture that it came in yesterday. Anyhow, let's try something. See if we can power it on from here. Hey, look at that. Immediately, Bluetooth connection successful. So you can just turn on the fan there. Yep. Oh, blew some water out. Apparently some water got in the duct. There it is, blowing air through here. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. Let's try the auto start stop heating. Yes, activate the device. So it's got to go through that cycle. And we look down here. That's the glow plug going, I believe. And then once it starts going, the only draw is going to be the fan and a fuel pump occasionally, depending on how high you got it. So we'll give it a couple minutes to go through its cycle and check back. Well, we got a high carbon monoxide warning and it shut down. So I am not sure why, because it didn't even heat up yet. Right now, this is all the way over here by the open door. We'll see what happens. Also, I turned up the amount of allowable carbon monoxide. Let's give it a whirl again. I'll turn it down a little too. It doesn't need to be 5, because it's already 57 in here and it hasn't even started up yet. But okay, it says ignition. All right, we are running. So as the way I understand it, you can sometimes get that warning also if the tube is too tight of a bend, if it angles too much, or a heat tube. So that's something I'm going to fiddle with too. So it's important that we try this sort of thing before it gets really cold. But right now, it's running. I'm going to peep out the door and see if I can see what the exhaust is doing. It's definitely putting some heat out now. I don't love this angle that I got. It just blows straight down. So I might rotate this. Well, I don't know if I can rotate it now. I have it all taped. It'd be nice to rotate it more sideways. Just want to make sure that it's clear of that tarp, and it is. Let's see, now the draw is coming down quite a bit. And if I weren't so lazy, I probably would just go put the key in the ignition and put the window down just a little bit. I always like to have a little ventilation. I did bring an extra carbon monoxide detector, just because, you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. All right, so another thing I was able to do is instead of picking a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I just put it on temperature so that it should shut off when it gets that way. So it's like a thermostat mode. All right, so it just reached temperature, so it cut off. So a little discrepancy in my It says it's 61, but it is up in the window, so that seems to function as expected. Now we're at the maintenance phase, where it's like 9 watts. It'll go like 9 to 23 periodically, just for fan and fuel pump. A very rudimentary heat distribution system. I just put my fan over here, and it does blow the heat over this way. So there's still a little drip coming out right up there. That's why I've got that cloth there. So at minimum, next time I definitely need to put the cover over the tailgate. I liked having this porch, you know, for going in and out, getting stuff without getting wet and the interior wet. But between having to tarp it and this little leak I have, definitely need to put it over that side. And that's not because of the diesel heater, because it's theoretically almost waterproof, but just in case, it's mostly this situation right here. I also might want to put like a little like a fairing, like what do you call it, for water at the top. Just like there's one on the lift hatch of the 4Runner, and I thought that would be enough to protect it, but maybe there needs to be one on the insert somehow. Anyway, I really actually want to get a awning, you know, just a pull-out awning for it to put on the roof rack, but you know, they're expensive. It does have me thinking, like I originally just wanted a 180 just to cover the whole side, but maybe I need a 270. Any of you folks who have a 270 awning, does the lift hatch hit it? It goes so high. That's why I was thinking a 180. I don't know. It'll probably be forever before I buy one anyway. By the way, currently 71 degrees in here. So I could definitely see now how water was getting in, because it's tilted at such an angle, and it's also a little too far away from this. I wanted it to be under this, but it's right. I think the water is dripping right at the edge, right there. So, and then, yeah, it wasn't getting under. Yeah, it was getting under. So I think I need to put like a little shield right here, like a little overhang. And so it'll run off and then just keep going instead of running off and seeping in. That gaffer's tape, obviously it's not meant for water. It's starting to come off. So I need to get some more of this weather tape. All in all, the Toolbox Max worked great, even for a new user like me. It's compact, lightweight, and efficient. I like that it's an all-in-one unit. This diesel heater was super quiet and barely sipped fuel and electricity. Also, the app worked flawlessly. The heater resisted water intrusion just fine. Next time, if it's rainy, I think I'll just tuck it under the bumper. If I run the cord under the liftgate and then closed it on it, it would easily reach the interior. And regarding that E11 error, since my other detector did not alert, I don't think there actually was a carbon monoxide issue. It could have been a temporary glitch, or the detector in the remote is calibrated incorrectly. I'm going to follow up with Hcalory on that. And did I buy a freestanding awning? Why, yes, I did. And I went with a 180 degree. Between that and the diesel heater, I might just have to plan a winter trip.